He said we should be all right. It's gonna be all right, right? It's gonna be all right. Come on in.
Oh, you can slide. Do what I gotta do. I wanna lounge with you. I gotta
We were singing at the other day. Shit. Coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome to the Me and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
for that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Still, no Diddy.
No
Today
Diddy.
is July the 6th, 2025. We thank you so much for listening and watching and however you hang out with
and
us.
enjoying.
We appreciate that. Rest in peace. We started out paying off some respects. Rest in peace to televangelist Jimmy Swaggart. Passed away earlier this week. To actor Michael Madsen of Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill. He passed away.
Damn.
Soccer player Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva. They were killed in a car crash in Spain.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. Detroit Red Wings legend and Hockey Hall of Famer Alex Del Vecchio dies at the age of 93. To Nip Tuck and Fantastic Four star Julian McMahon. I used to call him Julian McMahon, but they emphasized the Mon, and so it's McMahon.
Right, it's a different.
Passed away. He lost his battle with cancer. He was only 56.
Damn.
Yeah. To Hall of Fame horse trainer D. Wayne Lucas, passed away. And to David Mabuza, former South African deputy president. Mabuza passed away. Birthdays today, July the 6th. Zion the Freak, Zion Williamson.
Baby mama drama Zion.
Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans celebrates a birthday today. To Nnamdi Asomugha. He was a good
he was real, bro.
Good safety. Cornerback
safety. Him and Darrell Reeves used to run it up. They were the top.
Yeah, he never heard a whole lot about him in terms of like negativity, which was a good thing.
Right.
He's always heard how good of a player he was and is. Now he's an actor. He's married to actress Kerry Washington. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I think I did know that, but just forgot about it. So he's going to the acting
so he's getting into the acting side.
Good for him. Yeah, that's even more cheese.
Yes, sir. Keep the cheese flowing. Flowing and going and growing.
He could be like a little Tyler Perry. Maybe some Tyler Perry's. He probably have a good little career. I ain't seen him in nothing. Does he have? But I'm sure he would be good.
I was just thinking maybe Tyler Perry has had a very successful career. Maybe he could be somebody different. That's all. Anyway, to Pau Gasol, Hall of Fame forward, great friend of Kobe Bryant, godfather of their children, him and Kobe and Vanessa's kids. Happy birthday to him. To Omar Oliveras, Major League pitcher, pitched for the Cardinals briefly.
Okay.
For a few years. Willie Randolph.
He ran off.
Second baseman for the Yankees, and he ended up managing the Mets for a short term. MLB star Manny Machado for the San Diego Padres celebrates a birthday today.
El Dorado.
To actor, rapper 50 Cent. 50 Cent turns 50 today. 50 is 50.
50
is 50.
Ferrari.
Man, I did not know. 50. I guess we are getting older.
No, yeah.
50 is 50.
50 is 50.
Actresses Tia and Tamara Mowry. Sister. 47 years old today. And then celebrating a birthday, Kevin Hart. Comedian Kevin Hart turns 46 today. So happy birthday to those folks.
There you go.
That's little sports history on July the 6th, 2020. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes agrees to the largest contract for an athlete in history, inking a 12-year deal that could end up being worth $503 million. That was at the time. I think it's worth more than that now because
At the time,
because he's renegotiated a couple times, and there's been a few contracts since then. Shohei,
definitely had
Juan Soto,
but
he set the mark back in the day in 2020. In 2019, the LA Clippers acquired 2 NBA megastars in one day. They picked up Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard from Toronto in free agency, and then Paul George from OKC for an unprecedented trade bounty of players and picks. And OKC is benefiting from those players as we speak. In 2019, Jorge Masvidal sets a UFC record with a KO of Ben Askren 5 seconds into their bout in Las Vegas. I remember he did that running kick and knocked old boy out. In 2014, Florida teen Kaylin Whitney breaks the world junior record by running the 200 meters in 22.49 seconds at the U.S. Junior National Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon. The 16-year-old Whitney broke the record, broke the world 17 and under mark of 22.58 set by Marion Jones in 1992. Damn, Marion was a bad girl. 2013, Jimmy Johnson becomes the first driver in 31 years to sweep Daytona International Speedway. The Daytona 500 winner is the first driver since Bobby Allison in 1982 and the 5th overall to win both races in a season at Daytona. In 2000, Venus Williams beats her younger sister Serena 6-2, 7-6 to reach the Wimbledon final. Their singles match is the first between sisters in a Grand Slam semifinal. And in 1994, Leroy Burrell breaks the world record in 100 meters in Lausanne, Switzerland. Burrell's time of 9.85 seconds betters Carl Lewis's 9.86 set in the 1991 World Championships.
You think he is Carl Lewis?
Carl Lewis. That was a bad boy. So those are our rest in peace, birthdays, and sports history on today, July the 6th. What's on tap?
What's on tap then? What's the haps with the taps? Shake 'em up, shake 'em up, shake 'em up.
Things that we're watching out for. This is championship week at Wimbledon. And there's more than likely going to be a new champ or a surprise winner or two. At the time of this recording, the 2 top seeds, Yannick Skinner and Carlos Alcaraz, are still playing on the men's side. But on the women's side, 4 of the top 5 seeds are gone, including Coco Gauff. Number 1 seed, Arena Sabalenka is the remaining player left on the women's side from the top 5. That's crazy. In racing action today, NASCAR will be in Chicago for the Grant Park 165, and in Formula One, the British Grand Prix takes place. On the 11th, which is Friday, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will have their trilogy match. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the last one they had was a very close fight. They was going.
I thought Serrano won that fight. I thought she got robbed.
Yeah, I think that's why they had to run it back, because I think there was a lot of indecisiveness and people feeling one way. But trilogy is gonna make up. If it's anything like the second fight, the third fight should be another instant classic. Because the second fight was crazy. I didn't watch the first fight. I didn't know this was the third time they were.
Yeah, the first one, Katie won decisively. I mean, it was still close, but you knew she won. But that second one, I thought Serrano did enough to win that fight. Thought she was robbed. I think they called that one a draw, didn't it? Yeah, because that was on the undercard of
that Tyson
undercard of the Jake Paul fight. I was surprised at their fight, and that just shows how good they are. This is a standalone bout. This is the main event. I couldn't even tell you who's on the undercard. And with Jake Paul having recently fought, I thought that would have been on the undercard of his fight with Julio Chavez Jr. But I'm happy that the women have their own standalone bout, and looking forward to seeing it this Friday. UFC Fight Night. You got Derek Lewis taking on Taliesin Teixeira in the main event. And then you got Cyclist Tour de France kicked off yesterday and will conclude on the 27th of this month. In MLB action, All teams will be winding down this week, getting ready for the All-Star break.
The All-Star
You
break.
got the All-Star game takes place in the ATL on July the 15th. You could kick in the A.
This is my daddy house.
Right. Hey, I got that on right now at work. We've been watching that for the last week or so.
Hey, watch out. Hey, this is my daddy house.
We brought you here.
You just been getting over.
But Unc cracked me up. I ain't never want none of this.
Right.
That's the part that cracks me
right.
up. I ain't never want none of this.
ATL.
In the ATL.
Man.
All right, so moving on. Before we get to sports, Sean Puffy Combs, P. Diddy, found not guilty on 3 of the most serious charges against him, but he still is awaiting sentencing in October. Did the trial turn out the way you expected it to? Because we've talked about it here and there. We got Diddy.
Right.
I was about that juicy news.
Yeah, that was one of the topics I was going to bring up on Juicy News.
Okay.
But we can go. Honestly, we can just go ahead and do it now. As far as what I thought, it's tough to get somebody on racketeering as we always try to with the Young Thug case. I forgot, even with, I think 6ix9ine was accused of racketeering. That's a tough charge to prove they were part of a whole criminal organization, that they were calling all the shots, that they were made all the decisions. That's going to be tough to get. They always try to get that as far as like the max. And I know
that's always like the hardest or the most severe charge
and
they can get you.
Of sex trafficking as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still
prostitution.
Guilty. Yeah. He was guilty of 2 counts of transporting individuals for prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's a little bit different than sex trafficking.
From what I understand, just reading that postscript information, he's probably going to do at least 10 years. At least.
He's going to do some time.
He's going to do some time. See, a lot of people thought because he was acquitted of the racketeering charges that, man, he's going to time served or he's got money, he's going to pay a fine. The judge doesn't seem too eager to let him get off easily.
Right.
I think he's probably going to do at least 10 years.
Yeah, you
get out in 5 with good time,
good behavior. Yeah, you're gonna see some time, and I think he's gonna see some time. They're gonna get him on something where he's gonna have to. He's gonna be sentenced for a couple years, like you said, maybe that 10 years, and he'll get reduced to 5, or maybe 5 years, and with good behavior, he'll be out in a couple years. I don't think it's not gonna be like no hard time because of with the amount of money he has, his status. He's gonna be in a. It's not. He gonna have a TV in there with some pillows. He might have a little pillow top on the cot. It's not gonna be terrible. You're not gonna have your freedom and move how you supposed to.
Right.
They might have some freak offs in there for
Let's send him. Damn, that'd be nasty. Let's say send him to Leavenworth. Now he goes to Leavenworth, like the federal prison. Federal prison. That might be something a little bit different, but yeah, he'll probably have all the comforts of. He'll be as comfortable as I guess as he can be
in prison.
Yeah,
you're not gonna
in prison.
Get out that mug, but
you probably not gonna be chefing in jail like Goodfellas, like they were cooking up sausages and steaks.
Right, but I don't think he's gonna be too. It ain't gonna be bad.
He won't be suffering.
Right,
like you say, he just won't have his freedom. Which don't underrate freedom, folks.
That's the biggest punishment. Now, hopefully, whatever jail cell they don't have him in the same one where Tory Lanez was at, where he got stabbed up.
You always had somebody inside wanting to make a name for themselves. Yeah, and trying to get you.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, you can't have me in no general population. I don't.
Gen Pop.
I be in that 23-1. I just be in my cell all day, just going crazy, rather than having to be out. Yeah, nah, you ain't gonna try to come stab me while I'm eating breakfast.
But then while you're trying to eat, they try to poison you. R. Kelly said they tried to poison him.
Yeah, I can't even do it.
How about let's just not go, period?
How about you just don't do nothing bad?
How about you just don't do anything to ever think about having to go?
But my overall thoughts is, I didn't think I don't think he's gonna do like crazy hard time, but I think they're gonna get him for something. And matter of evidence, how many witnesses, they was gonna get him for
how they tore the house up.
Right. some type of evidence. It was something incriminating on something. As long as they get you on something, that's all they really care about. But the two major things, he's looking
that was
for
going to be
himself.
hard to prove those,
Yeah.
like you said, the racketeering.
Yeah, that's
the
all
prostitution. That's not a big stretch. You were taking women and men to certain
to
place.
hotels. You setting up money. Transactions was processed. You were there present accordingly to a lot of people.
You were the mastermind behind that part of it.
Yeah, you were pulling the strings on that. That doesn't take too much evidence to prove. We got the baby oil trail to prove it. Like we can follow it back to the fourth season.
The baby oil trail.
We can follow the baby oil trail.
All right, so we'll move on. Now we will talk some sports. We expected a splash, and we only got a ripple. So this is in regard to Mike Brown, who's been successful as a coach, supposedly, reportedly, going to be hired by the New York Knicks to be their head coach. I wasn't overwhelmed by that decision or that choice. I think it's just more of the same. He's a defensive-minded coach. He's never won a title, so the least he's going to do is he'll get you back where Tibbs got you.
Or worse, Tibbs was a couple games away from going to the finals. So right. You might as well have kept Tibbs. If you weren't going to go for someone who actually had a real good chance. Like the only really, like we were talking about Mike Malone, I think that was the only really, okay, now you got a coach who's been there, who's been with the organization, who knows how to be a New Yorker, kind of embodies and epitomizes the New York Knicks.
Right.
Has the persona and the attitude and the coaching style to go along with that type of market. Mike Malone would be the only choice because, Tibbs, he's been building. Mike Brown, he's a good coach. But, like you said, it's just more of the same.
More of the same. And
it's just pretty much more fired, but with a different name.
Right. That's it. Different color.
Right,
I'm not hating on the brother. I'm happy for you.
Right. I ain't hating on the brother.
I'm not hating on the brother. I'm just being real.
The brother got a job, but after all that, he's not going to. I don't even think because even more pressure is on because I don't know if Tibbs probably has some continuity. I don't know if maybe he was beefing with somebody in there.
They say the players turned against him. They didn't like the short rotations. I know Mikal Bridges was one of the people who spoke out.
Okay, I'm about to say something.
Look, man, we don't get much rest. When you're only running 5, 6, 7 players, you got 5 more players on the bench not even seeing any time.
Bro, shoes ain't even dirty.
Right, you're running us ragged. So I think that was part of the criticism. But again, you got 4 years to prove that you can get them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, the one thing I will give him or will say is he has a better chance this upcoming season because the East it's going to be watered down.
Yeah,
Boston is trying to sell off pieces. Indiana, they won't have their main star, and they're letting people go. Atlanta, from all accounts, has done a good job of acquiring some players. They might be the team to watch, your team, the Hawks. Might be that. I don't want to hype you up too much, but
I'm not really.
From all accounts, they say that in free agency and trades, Atlanta gets an A+. I'm interested in seeing how that turns out. I think they might even be better than the Knicks. That'd be a shame for Mike Brown.
Right. And this would be the time to shine. Like you said, the division's pretty weak. Really a strong contender. We've been always around that 8th seed. If we can creep up to maybe the 7th, 6th seed and not have to worry about being in the play, winning the play-in, and then going in, and you can just already be in the playoffs, don't have to worry about it. And maybe depending on where you rank, you can maybe get a home game. I think that's the goal. It's just to get a home game in the playoffs, game 1. That'll be round 1, but we'll see. I know we acquired Porzingis and things, and Trae Young had a real good year last year, so hopefully he can improve off of that.
And stay healthy.
And then Jalen, for him. I believe Jalen Johnson will be healthy this year, so that's another one of our key pieces to our offense. So we'll see. It takes time, but it's the Mike Brown move for New York.
We expected a splash.
Right. And it was a ripple. It was just like,
it was a ripple.
Yeah, like you said, it's like, man, I feel good for the brother. Glad he's back employed.
Happily back, gainfully employed, even though you were still getting paid not to even do a thing.
So from a standpoint, if I'm the New York Knicks or someone, as far as just, is this what it's going to take us over the mountain, the threshold? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Right. It's just
not feeling it.
It's just like still head scratching because it's like, Okay, you did all that just to be probably back in the same position or maybe even worse.
Exactly.
But only
We'll
time will
see.
tell. Yeah,
We
only
wish
time
you
will
well,
tell.
brother.
But
Not
yeah,
not
hey,
trying to
happy for you though.
not
Hey,
throw sand in your face. But
get
it's
your
just
money. Get your money.
get paid. You got a 4-year deal.
Get
Make the
paid,
most of
young
it.
brother, get paid.
Speaking of 4-year deals, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, $285 million, just north of $71 million per season. Crazy. I didn't even know he was due for an extension.
The function.
Man, that's a
He
deal
got
for
paid.
you.
Oh yeah, he got paid. Man, yeah, he got paid. That's where we see in contracts go. Just people getting these max deals. A lot of these players getting this money. They getting a lot of money, especially. And I think that caps off another just a historic year for him.
Mm-hmm.
2020. Excuse me. 2024 to 2025 season for him has been just
He can't do better than this.
I'm about to say, brother, your one might need to retire after
You
this
might
season
just need to sit down somewhere.
because how could you just beat everything that has happened this year as far as just
It gets
being
no better than
the
this.
MVPs, the winning the championship, the getting your money, and
Release your shoe deal,
release a
your new
max shoe
shoe.
deal. You're probably this is gonna lead you to being like a face of the NBA.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and you're still young, and you have a potential to keep playing with the players that you're around right now. So even the future's looking bright. So
Right.
he's doing his thing. That's what's up, though. But
Can't be mad at him.
You can't be mad at him. Oh, that's a great year.
Great year. Another thing that happened in free agency, Damian Lillard was waived by the Milwaukee Bucks, and then they in turn signed Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. Is that enough? I say no.
No, it's not enough.
That's not enough to help Giannis out.
But it's not enough to.
It's not. It's not enough.
No, I don't. It's not enough for the Bucks. It's unfortunate they couldn't make that Dame and Giannis happen like that. Especially they both got injured at the wrong times during around the playoffs, so they weren't really. They probably haven't really been
Couldn't stay on the court
that.
together much.
Together, build chemistry. And by the time Dame, he's going to require a lot of money too. You can't keep
He's
him
still
around.
on the books, D. I'm glad you said that. That segues perfectly into my next bullet point. He will be paid $22.5 million to sit and get healthy for the next 5 years. The money is guaranteed no matter who he signs with going forward. So he can just take his time, get all the way healthy, and then he can pick and choose where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going to get paid by Milwaukee. He's still on their books. He's got the 100 and something million coming to him, and they got to pay it. They just don't have to pay it all in one season and hit their cap that way. But yeah, Dame, he can pick and choose where he goes. He might want to go back to the West Coast. He's from Oakland.
Right.
Might want to join those Warriors or join Sacramento, or you can pick a contender. And that's the other thing. Teams can wait and evaluate his health and say, oh, wow, okay, let's add a Dame. And oh, by the way, Milwaukee, you go ahead and pay him. And it will give him the $1 million exception. I think that's the minimum, $1 million, if I'm not mistaken. And he can come join us and help us get over the top. But
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, Dame, you won even though you lost.
Yeah, you won. It may be perceived as an L, but it's really a W because
it's definitely a W.
He really didn't want to be in Milwaukee from the get-go. I think that's where a place was just getting him some bread. He wanted to go to Miami originally, but with him
and Giannis didn't want to play together though, and I guess they figured out early that this just isn't a good fit.
It's not meshing. It looked good on paper, just didn't work out that way. But yeah, it's not for Miles Turner to go to the Bucks. It's not enough. It's not going to be where Giannis is. After you win a championship, that's when the team breaks up. The contracts, the money gets. So it's like Milwaukee. They want to give some money to Giannis and get some peace. I don't see them being.
And who knows? Contender. He still may opt out.
That's what I'm saying.
And ask for a trade.
Because I think he wants to win. He sees he wants to go win right now while he's still young. Go get another championship while you're still young, and you don't have to worry about just being.
He don't want a ring chase. He'd like for it to happen right there where he is. But if they can't put the pieces around him, you may have to go. You may have to seek a different team. I think if I were Turner, unless Indiana wasn't offering anything or offering the same as what Milwaukee was offering, I would have stayed because I feel better about that team than I do Milwaukee. I just don't see all you got is Giannis.
That's
Okay, you
it.
got Giannis and Miles Turner. Tell me who else they have. I can't right off the top. I can't even tell you. I think they have one of the Lopez brothers. I forgot which one they had.
Yeah, Brooke was on there.
What's the dude?
Portis.
Kyle Kuzma. He was there.
Yeah, Kyle Kuzma. He was
I guess
there.
he's still there. But outside of that, I don't even know who's on the team. Then I got LeBron opts in, and DeAndre Ayton is on the way. Is that enough to help Luka Doncic? I say no.
No, I still don't say no.
They excite me. They don't. They didn't really do anything.
I guess it's another defensive player. You bring some size, pause, some defensive presence. It's not going to be the offense that you really need. You're gonna, I guess, you run through the offense with Luka. But you still need
they say he's excited about the move because lob, alley oops. But okay, is that going to win you a title?
I don't know. It can.
I just don't think they're really deep enough.
If anything that showed us through this series with Indiana and OKC, you're gonna have to have a bench that can perform and play. You got TJ McConnell. You got all these players coming off the bench for Indiana. You got Alex Caruso and players coming off for the Thunder, and they're able to play 11, almost 12 guys. They're almost able to play their entire team. You need depth. You need to keep players fresh. Even if the minor level superstars, they're going to burn out. So you're going to need a bench that's going to be able to will you some games, because a lot of times, the deeper you go into the playoffs, those bench players having 25, 30 points coming off the bench when you're not expecting it.
I had never heard of a Ben Mathurin until the playoffs.
Exactly. He's going, you're like, damn, and that changes the whole narrative of a game.
What's his name? Aaron Wiggins for
Wiggins
OKC.
For OKC getting 25 or so off the bench. You're like, dang. And then you got TJ McConnell getting 20. You got so many players. It's like, where did this come from? I don't think it's gonna be enough for the Lakers, especially to compete in the West when you still got a strong Denver team, OKC team. Houston's gonna be out there. You got Golden State.
I think it's a 2-team race. It's gonna be between OKC and Houston. They re-signed Fred VanVleet. They extended Jabari Smith, so he's staying. They signed Dorian Finney-Smith. He left L.A. to go to Houston. And they got your boy, Clint Capella. So that gives them some depth, some length, and some size that they're going to need to battle the OKC. They made it clear, okay, this is the blueprint. If we want to get a title, we need to pattern our team after. It's all copycat.
Right.
So you see something that's successful, and they were already on that path. They had a deep bench.
Yeah, it was almost like they just needed a little bit. Like that team they had wasn't bad. They didn't have to break it up, but they weren't going to win right now. You just had to let that develop. Maybe 2,
and
3 years.
They added a Kevin Durant.
Right.
And you still got a Şengün. You still got Amen Thompson.
They were showing clips of him in this past offseason. They were just doing some runs. Dude got a bag. He a bucket.
Who is that, D?
Amen
Thompson. Remember we were talking about that.
If he plays like the clips that I was seeing,
they're
gonna be okay. He's a super. He can be.
He will be a superstar. His brother is too. His brother's gonna be a superstar. Yeah, I mean that mid-range game, and he can shoot the three, and he can play defense.
He drives to the basket good.
He can run the point if need be. Yeah, he's got an all-around game. But I was impressed with him in the playoffs.
Ndoku is a good coach too. So they're trying to win right now. They're trying to compete right now.
Right, and like I say, they are the team that clearly built themselves, or trying to build themselves into OKC's rival. And I see those two teams.
That's going to be
I know I said it. We talked about it on the Outside the NBA show, if Kevin Durant was enough. And I originally said that they might regress. Well, I didn't think they were going to pick up these additional pieces. So I'm going to have to retract my statement. I think it's going to be a 2-team race. OKC and Houston. Everybody else is just playing to be playing.
Right.
For real.
Right.
NFL trade. This one is called Who Wears Minkas in Miami? Who wears a minka?
Who wears a mink?
Who wears a mink in Miami?
So
safety Minka Fitzpatrick was traded to the Miami Dolphins from Pittsburgh for cornerback Jalen Ramsey, tight end Jonnu Smith, and a pick swap in 2027 I think that was a good trade for both teams.
Yeah.
Ramsey wanted to get out of Miami. It gives Pittsburgh some more depth. It gives Aaron Rodgers another target.
Yep. Jonnu Smith is nice.
Jonnu Smith is nice. He's
He's
coming off
reliable.
one of his better years. And then it gives, in turn, Miami somebody back on defense to help them out. I don't think they're going to do much, but I think Minkah Fitzpatrick would be a good fit for them. I think he played for them before, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was there before.
Yeah, he's going back home. So they obviously have worn a Minkah before in Miami.
Yeah, that was a good trade for Ramsey. Jonnu helps spark, gives a different dynamic for the Steelers. And it's not bad for Minkah as well. Even though the team's really not going to be a contender, you've been there before. You still get to play. Miami's going to be nice.
The organization.
You know the organizations. There's no real losers.
It was a decent trade for both.
Yeah, it's not bad. I was like, okay, those are both solid picks for both teams. So
I almost flew under the radar because you don't hear about many NFL trades, especially this time of year. You have free agency for the NBA going on. And, oh, by the way, let's NFL say, well, for a few hours, let's get back on the front pages with a nice little trade. Going and growing, which is and D phrase. Well, the WNBA is still in that. And over the next 5 years, the WNBA will bring 5 new teams into the league. They're taking teams to Toronto, Portland, Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia. So the WNBA is going and growing.
WNBA is going and growing.
They got some momentum going.
They got some momentum going. You got to keep.
And then you got with the Golden State team doing well, coming out of the chute.
Right.
Dallas isn't playing all that well, Paige Becker's team. But Golden State took a different approach. They focus on a lot of international players to go along with former players from different teams. And they're off to a good start for an expansion team. And I think the league was like, well, damn, they're having success. While we have this momentum, like you said,
let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, let's bring some more teams into the fold. So, yeah, going and growing the WNBA. And while we're on the topic of WNBA, I don't know if you saw the sneak peek of Caitlin Clark's new prototype, the Nike Kobe 5.
Oh, no, okay.
It's supposed to come out next year, but they did show it on the internet, and she has worn it. It's a nice looking shoe.
Okay,
but it's
I'm
patterned off of
the Kobe's.
The Kobe 5, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a good looking shoe.
Oh yeah, that's just exactly just like the Kobe. Now watch these low tops. I don't really like hooping in low tops. I ain't gonna lie to you. I need
from a support standpoint.
Yeah, from that you got to support that ankle.
Yeah, you do.
And that Achilles tendon. That Achilles got to be protected.
That Achilles these days, man.
But yeah, that's a dope shoe. It's a clean shoe.
That's a nice shoe.
Just like the Kobe, signature Kobe shoe.
And then she's got the little color wave, the Indiana
the Fever color wave. Not bad at all.
They look kind of heavy though, don't they? I don't know something about
them. It's like the leather or something. It
they look like kind of damn. Like you got weights on, like you're working out in weights, leg weights.
They look durable.
No,
they look good.
It's material. A nice, clean looking shoe.
It's a clean little shoe. Yeah, they ain't bad. That's
good for her too.
Yeah, good for her.
Kobe, give him some love.
Yeah, absolutely.
The last of a dying breed. Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw reached the 3,000 strikeout mark on July the 2nd and became the 20th pitcher in MLB history and probably one of the last to achieve 3,000 strikeouts. The two next closest are Atlanta Braves pitcher Chris Sale. He's at 2,528 strikeouts. And Garrett Cole, he's at 2,251. Sale is in his 15th season. Cole is in his 12th. But currently he's on the disabled list after having elbow surgery prior to the season. So we're probably seeing the last of a dying breed, pitchers hanging around long enough to achieve the coveted milestone. So pops and props early to Clayton Kershaw because I don't think anybody else is going to reach it. Those two have the best chance of doing so. But like I said, D, I don't know if pitchers are going to be around long enough to be able to get 3,000 strikeouts.
They're throwing their arm out. With a
And
lot
they're
of
just making so much money too.
right.
They're not playing as long. But like you said,
Yeah,
durability
that is true. Oh
and
yeah, that's
money.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially because a lot of times those players were still playing because shoot, I still got to support this family. Shoot, I still got these.
Right.
I got this house. I got these bills. I need to play as long as I can.
Mhm.
Now players, you can ride off to the sunset. Like already
Look at
got the
Shea
bread.
Gilgeous.
Yeah, you really
After
don't need to
4 years,
play.
he don't even really have to play.
No, yeah, a lot of these max contracts, these you can retire now and just be paid. Like
Right.
we were just talking about with Dame, he chilling. He can just chill until he's actually fully healthy and decide where he want to go. There's no, I don't have to rush back and rush this
There's
injury
no
because
added pressure, I guess.
right, yeah, it is the last of a dying breed because that cheese. Cheese.
All right, next topic. Who wants to hit home runs? Cal do.
Who wanna hit a home run?
Cal
do. Is it true? Mm-hmm.
Cal Raleigh ties Ken Griffey Jr. Seattle Mariners record for home runs before the All-Star break, 35, and currently leads the majors in bombs and runs batted in. Prior to this season, he was known more for being a defensive catcher, having won a Gold Glove in 2024. Guess how much he's making this season, D? Cal Raleigh. Leading the majors in home runs. Guess how much Cal Raleigh is making?
Well, like 20 M's a year or something?
$1 million for this season. But don't
damn.
feel sorry for him because he's in the middle of
I don't.
6-year, $105 million deal. It ramps up $11 million next year, and then he starts getting into the 20 millions a year. So
yeah, I definitely don't feel sorry for him.
So Cal is
even
doing
with a
all
million,
right. Cal is gonna be doing all right. And in baseball and basketball, your money's guaranteed. So he's got $105 million coming regardless. But he also will have the distinction of being the starting catcher for the American League in the All-Star game, as we mentioned, slated for the 15th of July in the ATL. But who wants to hit home runs?
Who wants to hit home runs?
Cal do. Cal Raleigh, man. That's a significant feat. Like I said, 35 before the All-Star break. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
And it's not talking about me. This is Shohei Ohtani me. Turned 31 yesterday. He was back on the mound. Damn. He pitched 2 scoreless innings, allowed 1 hit, struck out 3. At the plate, he was 1 for 4 with a walk, and he tied Cody Bellinger's Dodgers record of 30 home runs before the All-Star break. He's also hit 30 or more home runs for the 5th straight season. Dude continues, D, to just every week there's something different that this man has achieved in the sport of baseball.
Yeah, the fact that he's only 31 is crazy. I'm like, dang, I turned 31 this year. So that just puts that in perspective.
Totally perspective.
Damn.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
And again, you see, they're slowly ramping him up. Now he's at 2 innings for back-to-back weeks. I bet you next week they'll let him go 3 and so on and so forth, so he can continue to build his arm up. Mm-hmm. But they're being very careful with him. But man, Shohei, happy birthday to you yesterday.
Ain't no way.
Pops' pop culture question of the week.
Pop culture of the week.
With this being the 4th of July weekend, a staple since 1972 is the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Is it entertaining or is it gross and nasty as F?
I think it's entertaining because it's gross and nasty as F. I think that's why it's entertaining, because that's just nasty. Because who's just doing that?
You just wetting that hot dog, just jam it in your face.
I mean, I guess it is a level of competition because it's something that you're not supposed to be really doing that for real. That is.
How do you train for that? How do you think you can do well in that?
I guess you realize, okay, I got a good appetite or a serious appetite, and just be like, okay, well, yeah, because that's also a good question. Is like, what makes you just want to push beyond that point of just
of
how
puking?
Yeah, I guess it's just you see the amount that you can eat, compared to just a normal person, the people around you, and I guess you just slowly just I don't know. You look into it, but I guess I don't know how that becomes somebody's passion. But that's just nasty because one, it's just not a. It's just a plain hot dog
with bread,
just with bread,
and then you just wet it and you just jam it in your face.
The only like if I'm gonna eat a hot dog now, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm too grown to be just eating some hot dogs. The kid, I feel bad even giving it to little Jamari because I'm like, bro, that's not even real. That's just scraps of just whatever
just whatever meat was left on the floor
up into this little weird looking shape. So it's pretty nasty. But if you're gonna eat a hot dog, I want some ketchup, mustard, maybe some onion, maybe some like some pico de gallo,
shredded cheese or
something like
that.
And maybe some chili cheese. I'm hooking that mug up to where you don't even
you
realize
put some Skyline chili on it.
Yeah, if you're in Cincinnati, you putting Skyline chili on it. But I'm hooking that mug up to where I can't even realize that it is a hot dog. I got some crunched. Ooh, you put some crunched up chips. Woo! Get like some Doritos or some crunched up chips.
Now that is joint. A good hot dog, though.
And I want my hot dog like crispy, like burnt. I want it to be have some texture to it. They look like they just microwave them or boil them hot dogs.
Almost like they barely put heat on them.
Yeah, it's no
and it's
no char on that mug.
And I guess I do have to say Joey Chestnut returned to he took a year off. He won his title back.
He had to.
I think he set another record. I think he ate 72 of them.
That's disgusting.
That's just gross. I can't eat.
I've been eating
7. I couldn't eat 7 successfully.
I don't think I've had. Yeah, I don't think I've had. I can't remember the last time I had a hot dog. I really, for real, I can't remember the last time. But 72, I probably haven't had 72 in the past 10 years.
Oh, I know I haven't.
72 is a lot of hot dog, but have that in one setting, that's disgusting. And that's processed food, and that's not even processing well. Ugh.
70 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes is crazy.
Falling short of his record of 76 in 2021.
And they be like struggling at. You could tell like they want to throw up. You can
tell they're about to throw up.
You're going against what your body's supposed to be naturally doing. Your body is saying, yeah, this is too much.
You're not supposed to be doing this.
I'm getting rid of it, but you forcing it down. Ugh. Now I used to wake up every 4th of July when I was back in like school or whatever, like high school when I had time. You just wake up and it'd be already on ESPN 4th of July. You got the day off and I'd watch it. But now
it's just so nasty. Yeah, it's gross.
I forget that it goes on. I be seeing it on like social media now and you be like,
I hear about it, but I just have no desire to watch it. I can see you see somebody just jamming hot dog when they had to wet it up, and man, just the sight of it really makes me sick. I'm serious. It's just the thought process. 70-something hot dogs in 10 minutes.
10 minutes is okay. To eat a whole meal in 10 minutes is crazy.
Then when do you eat again, though? Do you eat the
no,
you can't eat the rest of it.
Bro,
you gotta chill the rest of the day.
You probably shouldn't eat for the next week.
For the next week or so,
just to let it digest.
What's that do to your body though on the inside?
That's why that's not
natural. That's not natural.
Acid reflux, throwing up, the diarrhea, like you on that it's probably coming out from both ends.
That's not worth it.
There's no way your body can process all that food.
What's the prize? I know they get a little cheesy belt, but man. What's the prize?
Like, how much are you making off of
How much are you making off of that? Because that's no money.
That is no money.
Let me see. $10 minutes, man. Yeah, stop it. Even if I got to 20, which I don't think I can do 10.
Realistically, in 10 minutes, I'm probably only eating because I'm not doing a hot dog per minute, so I'm not doing 10. A hot dog every 2 minutes is still pushing it.
But even if with no condiments, anything like that on it, I don't even think I could probably do I
I'm
might
probably
be able to do
doing
3,
one every 5. Okay, if I'm actually
3
trying
or
to eat these
4.
hot
I say
dogs,
maybe 4.
yeah, if I'm actually trying to eat these hot dogs, I can maybe get 3, 4. But me personally,
No. 2 is the limit.
I,
It's got to be a damn good hot dog.
but do you actually does he like hot dogs?
I don't know.
Like,
I think he's done other challenges. Eat the egg. Remember, he used to eat eggs.
Yeah, but some of this stuff is like food that's just you're not even okay. I can see like maybe some slices of pizza. I love some pizza, so I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I can probably cash out with some
he won
wings.
10 grand for that.
10 grand?
You probably did $10,000 worth of damage to your body.
10 grand is not enough.
That's no money, man. Not for me to do that.
You still got to work a day job.
You may have to work a couple of day jobs.
You gotta do some other competition.
Grand.
I hope that's not the only competition you're doing because you have to do a lot more competitions.
Damn, and thinking when they tax it.
Oh yeah, you're not. What you getting walking around with like 7,500, give or take. So you just
to mess your body up. 10 minutes worth of jacking your body up, and then, like I said, do you practice for that? I'm gonna do a tune-up run next week.
I'm sure you
next Sunday
have to
I'm gonna eat at least 50 hot dogs in 10 minutes just to get my body ready.
And I'm sure I'm sure you're probably not eating the day before.
That's just nasty as F, D. That's it's just no other way.
That is just nasty. It's just like it's just a hot dog, and it's especially because they eventually like eating a cold hot dog with nothing on it,
and then you're dipping it in water, and you got just that soggy ass bread bun.
You're not enjoying it, so it's not. You don't feel good about it.
And I got 10 grand to show for it, not $1 million. Now $1 million might make me think twice.
$1 million? If you're doing it for $1 million, okay, like you get into the bag,
right?
You're not even getting 100,000.
You're not even getting to the hot dog bun bag.
That's not 100 grand. Would at least be like, okay, he made 100 grand.
Yeah, it make you think about it. Like, yeah,
10 grand,
10 grand and a belt. And all the hot dogs you can eat the rest of your life.
Right, and then
a
you
lifetime of Nathan's hot dog
ambassador.
Nah, I'm good.
You get to come into Nathan's factory, any Nathan's factory. Just come in and grab a hot. Like what? I just went.
You just go right to the assembly line and get you a couple of hot dogs.
You get more with a science project. Like at least you get the
spelling bee contest.
That's what I'm saying. 10 grand.
10 grand.
Now, I'm not gonna be unappreciative. Like I take 10 grand, but
not for that. Not to jack my body up. You got to be throwing up like most of the day.
No, sick. Like sick. You probably that's probably food poisoning.
Like you say, you running. It's coming out of both ends.
Yeah, because
you know it's gonna be running out the bottom end
because it's too much to process. So your body's just trying to get it out. So either you're throwing it up or you go into the bath. You on that toilet.
Ugh.
All day for might be 3 days.
And 10 grand.
And then you don't want to eat like I hope he's doing smoothies or something after that. Like
he must be a software technician or something on the side where he's making some decent money because 10 grand.
Yeah, you working a regular day job.
You gotta be, man.
Well, I don't know for Joey Chestnut because he might be able to do some touring or I don't know how else he makes some money. But the lower ranks, like
giving motivational speeches.
That cafeteria.
And you can be a competitive eater too.
This is where it all started.
It's where it all started.
Everybody used to hand me their leftover lunches. I used to bash it all. They used to be cheering my name.
I used to beg for the tots. Give me some of those tots. Man.
This is where it all started.
Sell some of these and get out of your mama's basement. He need to sell some of those things. He needs to be a spokesperson for excess.
Yeah, for real.
Get out of his mama's basement. 10 grand.
But yeah. But they also, what's his name? What's Buddy's name? I forgot. He does the lemonade. He chugs all the lemonade.
Lemonade.
It's a lemonade drinking contest. I forgot his name.
It has to be unsweetened. There's no way you can put that much sugar.
He's a big brother.
And lemonade. I had never heard of
Badlands. His name is Eric Badlands Booker. He's a brother. But he be drinking, he be drinking the hell out.
So you just peeing all night.
Yeah, I'm not. 10 grand, I'll do that. I much rather drink some lemonade. But how much lemonade?
It had to be unsweetened.
But you can't even drink a lot of
that's what I'm saying. How much?
You can't even consume a lot.
But damn, think of all the citrus you're putting in your body.
And like you said, and it has to be on because all that sugar is
sugar. Oh my God, you put yourself in diabetic shock.
Right.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
That's nasty. Yeah, that's nasty as F. All right, our pet, man. I got to get to this topic. Damn, I'm going to cut a few things because we got to talk about this. All right, that's Jenkins, our pet.
Jenkins.
Signifying that somebody is a jackass.
Is a jackass.
You're a jackass.
You're a jackass.
Malik Beasley.
Wow.
Being investigated by the feds for sports gambling. At least one prominent U.S. sports book detected unusually heavy betting interest on Beasley's statistics beginning around January 2024, a gambling industry source told ESPN. One source pointed to a game between the Bucks and the Portland Trail Blazers on January 31st, 2024. The odds on Beasley recording fewer than 2.5 rebounds moved significantly at sports books before the game, shortening from around plus 120 to around minus 250 due to a surge of action on the under. Beasley finished with 6 rebounds, and the bets that were deemed unusual lost. He's made $59 million in his career, D, and was set to sign a 3-year deal worth about $42 million with Detroit, but he might as well pack up and go overseas now because if he's found guilty, he's done, son.
You done, son. Like you're gonna be banned from the NBA the rest of your life, and yeah, you might as well be overseas and try to get your cheese because these players got to realize, bro, you're not smarter than the people they got to look at this. They literally got somebody just to look at everything, the analytics of your. So he's okay between this time frame. He really didn't have the statistics like he usually have. So what was going on? And then they started investigating. Well, look, damn. So he was betting pretty heavily. They got people for this, specifically for this.
That's all they're looking at.
They want to keep the purity of the game, the integrity of the game. That's what. That's the most important. That you'll get banned. You'll get in trouble, punished for hindering the integrity of the game. That's one of their biggest things. Look at Pete Rose. There's so many examples of gambling and the sports betting and telling you not to do it. I know you want to make a little extra money, but you just effed up the money that you were going to get guaranteed.
You had a new deal coming.
And a good spot in Detroit.
Out of the debt that I don't understand. They said he's had some bad investments.
Part of the gambling.
There's some loans that he owed. Listen to this, D. Recently, he borrowed money from his barber and his dentist. Those are two unlikely people I would think of to be borrowing money from. But he just paid back, just past week, paid back portions of loans to them because they were both suing him. He was owing them thousands of dollars because they were helping him basically get through because his wages were being garnished because he had so many outstanding debtors out there. $59 million you just effed off over the course of your career.
That could have taken care of all that debt.
But you have 42 more coming. And you just, like you said, you're going to earn your cheese overseas.
Yeah, you're going to have to earn your cheese overseas.
That's a jackass. And they think this is part of the Jonte Porter investigation. I guess there's a few more players. Who was the one that was down in Miami? They found him.
Rozier.
Yeah, Rozier.
Yeah.
They determined that he wasn't guilty, but I got a pretty good feeling, Malik, you were averaging 2.5, and they had you laying 2.5 rebounds. Excuse me. All of a sudden, man, I think I'm gonna get 6. I'm gonna go all out because I got money on it. Come on, man. Like you said, D, they got people watching for this kind of stuff.
That's crazy.
He's a jackass.
To be more careful. Yeah, jackass. Man.
All right, son. We'll move on quickly to the wild and the weird.
The wild and the weird.
And it ends up being sad.
Dang.
The wild
and the sad.
and the weird and the sad.
Damn.
So this one's called When a Flip Flops.
When a flip
flops. An Australian man's backflip stunt to celebrate his new apartment on the Gold Coast proved fatal after he suffered a head injury. Sonny Blundell, 18, died on Monday, June 30th, 6 days after battling a brain injury in a Queensland hospital. He had moved from Central Coast, New South Wales, to Queensland for a concreting job and to start a new life with his girlfriend. While celebrating his move with friends, Blundell attempted a backflip in the lounge room of his apartment, but hit his head on the floor.
Why is he so loud? Come on. I'm trying to be serious. That's all bad, bro. That's all
right on the line.
Like, why was he trying to do why was he celebrating? What caused him to do that? To celebrate?
Like, hey man, we can toast it up. I want to do a backflip.
No, I'm gonna do this backflip. Okay, no one told you to do that, sir.
All right, okay, let's get back serious.
Yeah, damn.
I've been picturing. I'm like, couldn't nobody stop him?
Right.
Hold on, man.
Ways to celebrate this,
have you ever done a backflip before? That's my question.
That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, all right. Okay. While celebrating his move with friends, Blunt.
Okay. Say, we can just go out to dinner. Nobody was like, who gave him the green light for this?
Man, nobody stopped.
Yo, bro, we can just throw a party.
Ooh. Can we just toast it up?
Yeah. Ooh.
All right.
All right.
Ooh, all right. So he attempted the backflip in the lounge room of it.
Okay.
I can't even finish it.
Right.
Hey, man, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
I'm gonna say that because. Ooh.
Right. No. We can hear the story because we can hear it.
Man, it's just hard because I keep picturing him jumping up on the couch.
So what were they celebrating though?
The fact that he got this nice apartment and got a good job, and he was
okay. That's all bad. Like,
but he was 18, so you chalk some of it up to youth, and
Okay,
so he did the backflip. He hit his head. He went to bed with a headache. He woke up vomiting.
That's crazy.
Then he passed out in the bathroom. His best friend found him unresponsive the next morning.
Damn.
And then he was rushed to the hospital in a coma in an intensive care unit. He underwent brain surgery and battled multiple strokes, had brain bleed, but ultimately he did die from his injuries.
That's
we don't mean to laugh, but it's just
no. It's just
man.
The laughing has nothing to do with the situation. That's a serious situation.
It's the decision that was made. And we couldn't have done something a little bit differently.
All the things, but a lot of that has to go with the youth, especially when you're 18. You got the apartment, you just got a new job, you feel like you're starting a new life,
on top of the world.
You feel on top of the world, and it's almost that false sense of I'm untouchable, especially when you're 18. You're considered an adult, but you literally just got out your parents' legal guardianship. You're not mature enough to be making decisions like that. So that's why I was just, who allowed this to happen? I know he's technically grown, but you still have a lot of influence on him to be like, hey, maybe this is not the best way to go about this. You
Like
do
you
have a
said, can
job.
we just go to dinner?
We could have done
Can
a
we just toast
barbecue.
it up real
Yes,
quick?
like we could have done something to acknowledge you that's a lot more safer. So it's very sad in the sense to where, yeah, that's
Well,
sad
ended
all
his
around.
ended his life.
It was just
A good moment turned tragic.
right. Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah,
that's the
that's
wild and the weird and the sad.
sad.
Yeah. All right, son. Moving on to that juicy news.
I was doing that. I was doing that Diddy.
Okay, so we've already covered it.
Yeah, we already covered it earlier on. But we are
All
still
right.
powered by
We are powered by excess.
We are still powered by
energy
excess
drinks.
for that juicy news.
Yes, sir. And we got that new one coming out. D, you want to promote it? That
Oh
lemon?
yes, the electric lemon flavor. That will be on the show soon. You'll see the new flavor released. But yeah, contact your boy.
Hit
me up. We can get some on order, and we can show you how to order some yourself, along with a lot of other products too as well. But the excess, the limited edition coming out, the electric lemon, be on the show soon.
All right. Time for our pops, flops, and props.
Pops, flops, and props.
Oh, those pops, flops, and props. Who you popping? Who you popping?
Pops is going to go to the WNBA. I think this is a good time just for basketball lovers to check out some of these. There's actually some good games, some notable players. Game, for instance, today that Minnesota Lynx and Chicago Sky. That's going to be a pretty good game today.
Back in the lineup.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good game. So highlighting to the WNBA, this is a good time to check out some different sports, some different arenas, and support some different support. So that's my pops.
All right, mine's going to go to Cal Raleigh for showing that he's an all-around good player. We knew he was a good defensive catcher, but now he hits for power. So congratulations to him. And again, like I say, he was voted as a starting catcher for the American League in next week's All-Star game. All right, son, who you flopping? Who gets your flop this week?
So flop, this is not an official flops, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to speak. Flops. I don't want to speak this into existence, but I just hope the Braves don't flop Acuna Jr.'s contract. It's coming up as far as to talk about conversations, extending his contracts. His future there, the decision is made. He's already put it on record that he wants to remain. He likes Atlanta. He wants to be with the team that he's been with. He's already brought a championship there. He's always had success there. So I just know how this is a business at the end of the day. Sometimes when you take on a contract, especially the amount of money that he's probably going to get or he deserves, sometimes you have to ship, you have to get rid of players and things of that nature, and you put yourself in a hold. So a lot of times they just get rid of that contract and they just try to rebuild. I hope in this case they can come to an agreement where both parties are happy, almost like the Ohtani contract where, you'll get this money, but maybe it might be later down the road just so we can keep some pieces around you. But I hope the Braves don't flop the contract with Acuna Jr. because he's a one-in-a-lifetime talent. Already brought a ship to the Braves. Let's just keep him there. If he's healthy, let's just keep him there, especially if he's happy too.
What'd he tell him? Grown man business. My flop is going to go to St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Miles Michaelis for giving up 6 home runs in one game against the hated Cubs on July the 4th. He ties the club record for most in a game for a Redbird. He was pitching batting practice. Every time they looked up, home run. All right, who you propping, son? Who you propping?
Props actually going to go to. Props is going to that trade. The Steelers trading Jalen Ramsey and Janu Smith for Mika Fitzpatrick. I thought that was a smooth little trade. Like we were talking about, both parties seemed happy. It went under the radar, but when you acknowledge it, you're like, oh, that's a decent trade for both parties. So I think that was my props.
All right, my props is going to go to Shea Gilgeous for putting in that work. Leading his team to a championship, and now he's getting paid. Nice props to him. Also to Clayton Kershaw. I think he's going to be the last of a dying breed to achieve 3,000 strikeouts in a career. So nice job to both of those young men. All right, son. Now it's that time for us to tell someone to sit your ass down. Man. Sit your ass down.
Please.
And thank you.
Please and thank you.
Who you telling, son?
My sit your ass down is going to go to John Jones. Are you retired or are you not? Because now he recently said that he was retired. However, since then, he has re-entered to the UFC anti-doping testing pool, suggesting a potential return to competition. So they announced that June 21st, Aspinall was the new heavyweight champ. But since then, 2 weeks after retiring, John Jones announced that he is re-entering in the UFC's anti-doping testing pool, hinting to a possible return. This potential says a return to competition, which will require a minimum of 6 months of a testing period under the UFC rules, meaning a comeback would be potentially in 2026. They think the reason for the potential coming back, because I guess they're supposed to do a UFC. You know how Donald Trump is always there at the UFC fights. Him and Dana are actually really, really close. So there's been interest of doing a UFC fight at the White House. John Jones is actually a Trump supporter, a big fan of the man who's in office currently, and he potentially wants to come back and fight in the White House for a championship.
Yep, right here, D, is one of the stories I left off.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to the People's House,
Oh,
UFC,
wow.
the White House. I left it out just because we're running a little over.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's perfect. You tied that in perfectly.
Yeah, so John Jones, I guess don't sit your ass down or sit your ass down. Like, what? That's the reason why you want to come back. So
I thought you said kiss my Aspinall.
Right. I thought you was done for it. So it does seem like it had to do something with drug abuse or not drug abuse, drug use. As far as him retiring, trying to get it out of his system.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna retire.
I just retired.
Seemed like he was partying or something like that, and then instead of them stripping him away because he couldn't perform like they had to do before, just said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and retire. Give the belt to Aspinall.
Yep.
I'm gonna re-enter once it's out of my system. Be clean for the next 6 months or so, just so I can come back, get my title back." UFC, whatever, by the time for the White House fight. If Aspinall's still the champion, I'll fight him. If not, I'm still fighting for the heavyweight title. So
yeah,
that's what now it's starting to piece together.
Yep, the breadcrumbs make sense, something.
Yeah. So sit your ass down, man. Leave the drugs alone. That's it. Just leave the drugs alone.
Leave the drugs alone, and if you train, just train.
Just train. You don't have to retire, come back, and wait. Unless that's how you want to plan it, I guess. But man, sit your ass down.
Sit your ass
just
down.
Don't do the drugs.
Yep. Whew, all right, so mine is gonna go to the New York Knicks front office once again, because you proved us right by showing that firing Tom Thibodeau was an emotional decision, probably by the owner, James Dolan. But we expected, okay, after all of this, the 3 weeks of waiting, we expected a big splash. We barely get a ripple. No offense to Mike Brown. Brother, I'm happy you got a job. Right. You're back gainfully employed in the NBA. But do you understand that the amount of stress that you're going to be under in New York? You were in Cleveland. You were in Sacramento. Now, you got a little taste of it in LA when you were the head coach. But New York, the New York media is a totally different beast.
They ready to rip
Man, do you really want that for yourself? But again, the sit your ass down goes to the New York Knicks front office. Man, sit your ass down. We went through all this to get a Mike Brown when you should have just really kept Tom Thibodeau, kept building on what you had. But you didn't, so sit your ass down. All right, son, man, we chopped up a lot.
Didn't even get into everything.
Didn't get into everything. I had about 2 or 3 other things, but no, that just shows we hit it all. We hit on all topics. We hit all topics. But as always, we can't thank you all enough for listening and watching the Me and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass. No Diddy.
All right, D.
Hey, but until next time. I'ma holla at you.